Okay, so before we can get into, a real serious talk about building up a social circle and building up, a healthy social circle and getting access to nightclubs and all that stuff, it's important that we talk about the company that you keep. Okay, now this is one of the most important parts of developing a healthy social circle and developing a healthy social life. The company that you keep is so fucking important. There's a really popular saying that a lot of people know, I'm sure, and it's the birds of a feather flock together. And that is so true when it comes to, when it comes to building a social circle and it comes to getting success in your life. The people that you hang out with are going to rub onto you. Their personalities are going to affect you. That's without a question. And either you're going to be the leader of that movement with the friends you hang out with, you'll be furthering, the personalities and furthering the actions you take with your friends, or you'll be following the actions they take. But either way, the people you hang out with, it's like a lot of people think that they're, above the process, above the I was about to say the process, but above the friendships that they have. It's like, no, I'm so high-minded and so strong that I won't succumb to the peer pressure or any of that. But that's actually not true. What will happen is that, and how do I know? I've seen this with myself, and I've seen it with many students, many friends of mine. And I've actually studied this in detail as well. But what happens is when you hang out with people that have certain character traits, let's say you hang out with people that like to smoke a lot of weed and fucking skateboard. Okay, I'm being real stereotypical here, putting people in a category, okay? You hang out with those people, what'll happen is you're not gonna stop that group as a whole, that whole group, let's say 3 friends from weed and skateboarding. You're not gonna do that. You're going to instead lead them in those character traits and in those trends more if you're a leader. And if you're a follower, you're going to just follow along whoever the leader of the group is, right? So if you're hanging out with a group of people that are motivated for success, and you're a leader, you're going to be the leader of that group through success. But if you're hanging out with people that are lazy-minded and don't like working and don't like pushing themselves, you're going to follow along with that trend. So birds of a feather flock together. That's so true. So if you want to be someone who starts to cultivate this healthy lifestyle and this healthy social circle and this, again, upflow of progression like we talked about in the last video, you need to be careful of the company that you keep. And the difference is you need to hang out with high value people versus low value people. There's a big difference between hanging out with someone who is perpetually low value versus someone who is high value. And I want to define that being with someone who is high value versus low value does not mean money. It doesn't come down to money. When I say value, again, a lot of people think that high value means you have to have someone who's, making 6 figures a year, multiple 6 figures a year, and it has connections with all the hottest bouncers and promoters and door people in the best city in the world. It doesn't have to be that. A high value person does not have to be someone who is, a high value person doesn't have to be someone who is, high value in the sense of money and net worth, but a high value person can be someone who has the personality of building you up, the personality of, hey, I'm going to help you progress, right? What's the difference between a low value person and a high value person? And we're going to get a little more later into how to know the difference between these types of people. But a low value person is someone who will not build you up, and there's someone who doesn't value your success. That's the biggest key indicators of a low value person. It's someone who's not going to help you build yourself up, and they don't value your success. Right? And there's ways to find this. Of course, we're going to define it later and look at the characteristics of someone like this. A high value person will seek to build you up, and they want to contribute to your success. Right? A low value person genuinely doesn't care if you're successful or not. Like, ultimately what they care about is themselves. Or sometimes, a lot of times, what's funny is they don't even care about themselves. They just care about, they don't even care about themselves. They just care about, that instantaneous pleasure. And just, in the moment, how I feel right now. Right? They don't even care about their long-term progression. They just care about in the moment a lot of times. That's a real low-value person. High-value people care about your success and their own. So they want to build themselves up, but bring you up along with them. All the people that I know who I've worked with as business partners in the past, or people that I've had success with, as successful friendships with, the people that I work with on my team, the people that I work with, that are my students that I love the most, are high-value people. Because they care about helping me get my success in my journey with my business, with my life, even students that I coach, they help me look good after program by posting about their results, things like that. But in addition to that, they also care about themselves. They care about making sure that they work hard and they leave a legacy for themselves, right? So high value versus low value behaviors are important. Now, dating and friendships are, you can see kind of a pattern between the dating relationships you have and the friendships that you have. If you have friendships that are successful, a lot of times you're going to have dating relationships that are successful and vice versa, right? They go hand in hand. You want to surround yourself with winners. No matter where you go, no matter what situations you're in, if you move to a new city, you want to attract winners. You want to attract a circle of winners around you. You don't want to attract low-value people, right? What are some of the benefits of good company? Let's get into that. So a few of the benefits of having good company, kind of two of the biggest benefits that I can think of just off the top of my head. I mean, not the top of my head, I have my notes here, but the two big benefits that I think of when I think of good company is you, one, achieve goals faster. I'll talk from my experience. I know that I would not be where I am with women, and I wouldn't have made this program, this digital product, if I would not have had good company and people to motivate me in my game when I was younger, when I was getting good at gaming. And even now, the people that I align myself with are people who motivate me to get better, right? That's one of the biggest benefits of good company. All my favorite wings that I hang out with, like those are all guys that motivate me to get better, and I get better because I have the support from them. Right? It's like you can do more in a team. It's simple. If you're a team player, some people are loners, which is also fine. But generally the general rule of thumb is if you're someone who is surrounded by a group of people that are moving towards a common goal, you guys can achieve that goal much faster. So when I have people around me that want me to hit certain goals that I've laid out for myself, I'm usually going to hit those goals much faster. Right? When I have certain people around me who are able to help me hit certain goals, and I'm able to help them, and we're moving towards a common goal of, again, that upflow of progression, I make hitting my goals faster. So here's the thing. If you want to take what you're learning in this course and you want to actually get better, you actually want to improve in your dating life, start surrounding yourself with people that are going to be getting you success. Start surrounding yourself with people that have the same goals as you for their own personal lives, for their dating life and for their business or whatever it is that they're working on for fitness, fashion, and improve yourself with those people. It's a constant upflow of progression. Another benefit of good company, aside from achieving goals, is just the personal growth aspect. Like I've grown more as a person, not just achieving goals faster against the first benefit, but I've also grown as a person because of the friends that I've kept. Again, because when someone else gets insights in life and you're able to learn from them, you begin to cultivate like this tribe of mentors. Tim Ferriss actually talks about this. I believe that's the name of his book, Tribe of Mentors. I think that's the name of his book. He talks about this a lot. Like he talks about how if you have people that are building you up and you're learning from their experiences, you're not just getting your own reference. So when I go out, for example, let's say approaching women, I'll go out and I won't just be getting my own reference. I'll be getting reference from my students. I'll be getting reference from my wings. I'll be getting reference from my friends because they're having their own experiences and I'm learning from what they did. That's why I love surrounding myself with guys who are action takers because I can learn from them. It's like if a friend starts a business and it's maybe not going so well or it is going well, I can learn from what he did. But you only get this reference if you surround yourself with action takers and people that are high value winners. You never get this if you don't surround yourself with people that are, progressing, people that are getting better. And one thing I want to say before we get into the details of this whole friend thing, everyone that I know who has a really good social circle, everyone I know who has a really healthy social circle has done this. They've surrounded themselves with this tribe of winners, this tribe of like successful people, this group of people that are, working towards a common goal. And when I say common goal, I don't mean it has to be, we're all trying to build a community together like that. It doesn't have to be we're trying to all build the one company, but a common goal could be a common life goal. We're all trying to get success. We're all trying to get good at game. We're all trying to work on ourselves when it comes to making money. We're all trying to move to a new city and have a sick-ass apartment in a new city. Right? It's like I'm constantly looking for people that are moving towards similar goals as myself, and I'm adding them to my life. And now naturally I attract those kind of people as well, and we'll talk about how to do that. How do you actually attract these people? Well, it's a paradox because part of it is you attract what you are, right? You attract what you are, but you also become what you attract. So it's really interesting, right? The birds of a feather flock together. What happens if you think I'm going to give a really brutal example here. What happens if you're a really shitty fucking person who's a fucking loser? Okay, so if you're a loser and you're watching this right now and you know you're a loser, how do you attract people that are winners? Well, remember what you talked about in the second module when it comes to self-identity and knowing your starting point. The qualities that you have in your life that make you the loser, again, quotes around make you the loser, quotes around that, start to cut out those qualities and start to emphasize qualities that make you a winner. Start to emphasize and practice and take action on qualities that make you closer to where you want to be. Do them on your own. And what happens is when you start to act on these positive qualities, you'll start to find that you begin to find people in your life that have the qualities that you want to have. Because you put yourself in situations. For example, me, when it comes to game, right? I was not good at game and I didn't know anyone who was good at game. But the more I started taking action on game, I found communities of people that were taking action. And as I began to take more action and I started to go out a lot, I began to surround myself, and well, not surround, but I began to find people who also went out a lot. So it became kind of, first was, I didn't know anyone. Then I found a community of people that were also taking action because I did research. I said, how can I do game? How can I go out and meet women? How can I get better dating-wise with my dating life? And then I got put into this community, these Facebook groups and these online forums of people that were going out and approaching women. And not all of them were good. Most of them weren't good, actually. But the majority were terrible, and most of them weren't taking a lot of action. But then as I began to take action and I started to write about my progress, I started to write little reports about what would happen when I would go out, I also began to find other people that were getting this, that were starting to take action too. So the niche of who I was hanging with and who I was around narrowed, and I began to find people that were also doing the same things I was doing. Because I was an action taker, so other action takers started to gravitate towards me. They started to talk about their results. Then what happened is the more action I took, in that group of action takers, some people get results. Some people are really good. Because again, you can't get results with women if you don't take action on it. It doesn't mean you have to go out 7 days a week and approach 7 days a week like we talked about in module number 3. But you do have to take action. And if you're taking action, you're hanging out with people who take action, it's inevitable that some of those people are going to be getting results. And that's how I found my mentors. That's how I found the people that I added to my circle. And that's why I had friends that were taking action as well. Because I found those kind of people by being an action taker. So if you want to attract people that are successful or people that are high value, and again, we'll get into how you can know who's high value and who's not, you are going to have to take steps to work on yourself. Okay? You have to take steps to actually work on yourself. You have to take steps to progress in your personal life. If you're going to attract people, you have to become what you want to attract. You have to start to add those little qualities to yourself that will attract people that you want to be around. Right? If you don't do that, you're not going to attract those kind of people. You have to attract those people by working on yourself. You have to attract those people by adding in little qualities to yourself, little qualities to who you are that will attract those kind of people around you. Right? And the more you do this, the more you attract these people around you, the more that the more that you put yourself out there and take action on things that you want to be and you become what you want to attract, the more you're going to have those people in your life. It's full circle. It completely comes full circle. It's kind of this law of attraction shit, but instead of visualizing it, you're taking more action on it, right? You want to be an action taker. So you have to start working on yourself. The other thing, aside from taking steps to work on yourself, is you need to also learn to recognize low value and high value behavior. How do you recognize those who are low value from those that are high value? Like, let's say right now, you have friends that you hang out with, people that might not be helping you progress in life. People that might not be helping you get to where you want to be. How do you recognize who you spend your time with versus who you should not? Well, let's look at some of the things. So a couple common low value behaviors that I see a lot among people, students of mine that don't get success, and friends that I've had to cut off in the past. How do I notice, what are the behaviors that you see repeating over and over? Well, a few things. So toxic and unhealthy habits. A lot of people who have toxic habits, and I say toxic habits like constantly eating unhealthy, drinking excessively, like smoking all the time, right? Not taking action ever in their life, accomplishing virtually nothing in their life, wasting their time, like horrible time management. Those are a lot of toxic habits that I see among low value people. So again, think, if you have a friend in your life who you're like, if you in the back of your mind are like, maybe I don't want this person in my life anymore because maybe they're not a high value person that I should be surrounding myself with. Are they building me up? Think about this. A lot of low value people, and if you see this in yourself, these are things you want to eliminate. Remember we talked about becoming what you want to attract? This is where you can start. So those are some low value behaviors, like toxic habits, unhealthy habits, habits that lead to you damaging yourself in the long term, like constant unhealthy eating. That's a huge thing. And I used to fall into this myself. So I'm not saying that I'm the most high value, high and mighty guy. I mean, I've worked on myself a lot for sure, but I used to have a lot of low value habits, and I used to be very low value. Now my value's risen as I've worked on myself, of course, but I'm always growing, and sometimes I slip up a lot. Oh, trust me, very recently I've slipped up quite a bit. But like, you have to learn how to recognize these trends and recognize these habits. So toxic, unhealthy habits. If this is happening to you, cut out the toxic habits. You have to decide if you really want it or not. Cut out these kind of habits, right? Another thing is an uptight, lack of expression, no smiling or joking. So someone who doesn't actually know how to laugh and joke and see humor in things. I have a friend, I'm not going to get into too much details because I don't want to call anyone out on this personally, but I have a friend, he's a very, very good friend of mine. And a roommate of his, he has a roommate who utterly disgusts me, and I detest his roommate. The reason why is because his roommate, in my opinion, is a very low-value person. Even though his roommate is someone who's successful monetarily, give or take, his friend has a nice job and is going to eventually make a lot of money. The way that he carries himself and the way his worldview is one of lack of expression, a complete lack of expression. He doesn't see the humor in things, and it's a complete negative, sucking energy, like black hole vibe, right? And that, to me, is a very low value behavior, something I couldn't be around because that doesn't help me see the good in things. That doesn't help me be that giver versus taker. He's a complete taker. And you can see it in the way he carries himself around people. He just does not see the humor in anything. Can't laugh. He's just too uptight. He like snaps for different little things. And this is, one of the biggest signs of low value behavior. And this is a low value person. And I'm 100% sure of it. Like, I would not surround myself with these kind of people because this kind of behavior, not being able to see the fun of things, not being able to see the humor in things, being too uptight is a value sucking behavior. This is the opposite of, being someone who's a giver versus a taker. And again, not just so you can get good at game. This goes beyond game, but a person like this is someone that you would not be able to grow with in your personal life because they're not on a path of growth. Emotionally, they don't have abundance. They don't have emotional abundance. Someone who has emotional abundance is able to see the humor in things, right? Someone who has emotional abundance and has this wealth of emotions to give out can see the humor in things. How do I know that this guy is not emotionally abundant? Because when we're out, he's the opposite of everything that I would hope to be when it comes to getting success and having people gravitated towards me. Like, he's not able to say thank you to people, for example. He's in reaction to everyone who's around him, right? The vibe that he's conveying is very negative, and you can feel a dark energy about him. And I'm not going to get into energy talk and all that stuff. That's not what this is about. But you can feel that presence about him. It's a very sucking, oppressive presence. And what happens is, he'll be around people, and people around him as well say the same thing. That I have a lot of people that I know who know him, and through my friend as well, that have also confirmed this. So that's kind of what I mean when it comes to, that uptight energy. Someone like that is not a high value person. You don't want to surround yourself with someone like that. The people I know who have the most success in life and are the happiest and most fulfilled, the guys that I want to surround myself with, are people that are able to have this freedom of expression, this freedom of where they can see humor in little things. The other thing is, and this is a huge low value behavior, and I see this so much in the pickup community, so many guys. I mean, I've been in the pickup PUA community, which some of you might be in. I've been in this community for the past 4 years, 5 years, give or take. I started out watching videos online, then I really got into the community, maybe about 2 years into my game. So about 4 years now, 3 to 4 years. And this is so big in the community. There are people constantly looking for more free value. People who don't recognize the value of actually paying for things. And again, if you're on this program, you recognize the value of that. So I'm not holding this against you. But a lot of people in this community, I get it all the time, like tons of messages on Facebook or emails, people just asking me long questions, like paragraphs for me to read. And then like if I don't read it, I'll get like a question mark the next week. Hey, Tim, did you read my message? And the next week, hey, did you have time to get to my message? Again, they're so in their head, they don't understand, hey, he's probably getting hit up by like multiple people per day, which is the case. And he has to prioritize the people that are paying him, the paid clients, which is again the case. And maybe if I just, hey, let me take a program, maybe if you can't afford it at this moment, then what can you do? Sure. But a lot of people are like this. They don't understand the aspect of paying for things. And it's not just like paying for something, because I don't think there's a glory in paying for everything. I mean, I personally do see a lot of value in buying things and learning from people when you pay money for things. I think there's a lot of value in that. But I also think that more than just the act of paying, I think it's it's just looking for free value all the time, constantly looking for more free value, more free value, more free value. Like you see these people online, kind of the people that, like I'll get people ask me these demanding requests under my videos, like make a video about text game. Why have you not done that yet? And I'm like, hey man, maybe if you got coaching, like I'd go over my whole text game like manifesto with you, or you looked at this program, I'll have a bunch of stuff about text game. But instead it's like, more free value. People who don't understand that things come with a price and are not willing to actually give out that price in order to get value back because they just want more free value. That's another behavior of people that are low value. And it doesn't mean where you want a discount. So if you're someone that's like, hey, can I get a discount because I'm not fucking rich? Yes, of course, that's fine. I mean, I understand that. I want discounts on things too. But when I say there's a common indicator among people who are low value, which is where they only want free value. And they are skeptical about buying anything when it comes to, learning from people or paying for mentors, things like that, is where they only want free value. That's a very common low value behavior. And that's something that you should shy away from. If you see that in your own life, again, I assume this wouldn't be you since you're on this program right now, but if you do have people in your life that are like that, I mean, again, this is a behavior that you would want to stay away from. People who don't see value in paying for things, or they just want to suck more free value and look for ways they can leech free value, that's a very common indicator of someone who is a low value person. And the final common indicator of low value behaviors is, or a low value person, common low value behaviors is they are averse to taking action, right? They're against taking action. And when I say against taking action, I don't even mean against taking action in the sense of, oh, I'm tired, I don't feel like going out and approaching women. When I say averse to taking action, I mean they're averse to taking big steps and big risks in their life that are going to push their comfort zone. I think that's a huge issue among a lot of guys, because what they do is they'll talk a big talk, but when it comes to the actually putting in the work, they don't want to do it, right? Because taking action is relatively scary. Taking action pushes you out of your comfort zone. Taking action is something that's new. And I know a lot of guys, I'm going to actually tell a story. I have one student, well, not a student actually, but one guy who's been a former client of mine. He was in a relationship with a girl for a while. And he broke up with this girl, and I told him, I said, he's like, I want this girl back. And I said, right now, the reason why you're struggling so much with this is because you're coming from a frame of scarcity. And because you're in this frame of scarcity, your mind is so clouded that you don't realize that the reason why the girl doesn't even want you anymore, the girl was fucking some other guy and she had left him and stuff, and she made it very obvious she was doing that. And she said, like, let's be friends, I don't want to fuck you anymore. I said, the reason why she's doing this is because you've demonstrated to her that you're in emotional scarcity and you need her more than she needs you, right? So now you've become a low value provider. Because you have a good job, you're a cool, normal guy. Remember that we talked about the tiers? He's in that second tier. He's a cool guy, a nice guy, has friends, has hobbies, but he's a low value provider. And I said, in order to become a high value emotional provider for this girl again and be the emotional anchor, even though I highly doubt you would get her anyways, but let's pretend that you did want to get her again, you have to go through the fire first of taking action. You have to go through the fire of taking action. And for him, that was just such a struggle to understand and to resonate with, because he didn't want to take action. He didn't want to take action on this. And ultimately, kind of the sad truth is that that's extremely low value behavior. And that's behavior that will alienate a lot of people. Well, not even alienate, because a lot of people gravitate towards this because it's behavior that's easy and it's very hard to recognize. But as you work on yourself more, you begin to recognize it in people, and this is low value behavior. A lot of low value people, especially people that are subtly low value. Again, some people are obviously low value, like you have someone that's like doesn't do shit with their life and just smokes all day and stays in bed and just like eats food all day doing nothing. That's essentially like low value behavior, right? But when you have someone who looks on the outside like they're doing shit, but when you actually really look at it, they're stagnating in life and they're not a very high value person that you'd want to build a friendship with or build a social circle with, you can recognize these things. And this is a low value behavior. It's very hard to recognize, but this is the behavior that I was seeing in him. And this kind of behavior is like an indicator of someone who is low value that will not, and I'm being very careful with my words here because I don't want to, alienate some of you guys who may feel the same way, because you can get out of it and we're going to talk about it. But you don't want to surround yourself with people like that, because they will not help you progress, because they're in stagnation themselves, right? Don't forget, just because you get a job and you work hard in school and you work hard in the path that you were given doesn't mean that you are taking risks or taking action in your life. Just because someone says, okay, here's your homework, sit down and study, and then because you got the degree, you'll apply for jobs and you'll get a good job, doesn't mean you're an action taker. It means that you followed the path that you were supposed to follow. You did that. But action taking is risk taking. Action taking is taking risks to progress in your life. right? Even guys who take my program, I tell them that just because you're on my program doesn't mean that you're necessarily taking action in your life. Just because you come out here and you invested money in taking like live coaching doesn't mean that you've taken risks. Doesn't mean that you're an action taker, because you're still following the set little model that I've given you. Now you're opening up a new door for yourself to begin to take massive action the right way. But again, just because you pay for college or pay for even a weekend intensive type program, like a coaching program, that doesn't mean that you are a high value, a person who's an action taker, right? Because that's still following the mold that someone else set for you, right? Taking action is risk taking. It's going outside the box. But anyways, to come back to what I was saying, this guy essentially is not an action taker because he's so scared of pushing his comfort zone. He's so scared of getting rid of those little bit of emotions he has, hoping the girl may come back. And he doesn't want to put himself on the line and get rejected and go through the hard path of getting rejected by other girls, right? And that's sad. But these are common low value behaviors, and you want to avoid these in people that you hang out with and that you make your friends and that you build this social dynamic, this social circle with. You want to avoid attracting these kind of people. And if you find that you're attracting a lot of these people into your life, it could be because you have some of these qualities and you want to seek to eliminate these qualities. This is how you can do it. So here's a couple of common high value behaviors. There's two major categories that I call high value behaviors, because being high value and being a person who is going to have success is very simple. Actually, I think it's actually much more simple than being someone who is not having success, because I think that not to say it's easier necessarily, but it's simple to be someone who is high value. The reason why is because it's very clear cut. And the big thing is taking action in your life. Like if you're someone who's an action taker, you're going to have all the other shit taken care of. It's very hard to be an action taker and actually get success with anything if you have massive low value behaviors. If you're filled with low value behaviors, it's very, very hard. I'd say almost impossible to be an action taker, right? It's very hard to do that. The reason why is because as someone who is a high value person, you need to go out and you need to actually take action on things that make you high value, like building up your career, building up your business, and taking action in your life, your dating life, your fitness, your health. You have to prioritize those things. So you have to not have unhealthy habits. You have to actually take very careful care of what you put into your body. You have to take very careful care of how you spend your time, right? So you tend to eliminate unhealthy habits naturally. So someone who is an action taker is generally a high value person, right? If you're trying to attract high value people, think, is this person I'm hanging out with an action taker? Is this person I'm attracting? Are the people that I'm talking to online to maybe hang out with as friends and, go and experience things together, like go maybe meet women or go get lunch and talk about business? Are these high value people? Are these action takers? That's one of the first indicators. The second thing, and this is the other big category of being a high value person, is someone who can let loose and have fun and not take themselves or anything else too seriously. Right? Someone, especially not taking themselves too seriously. A lot of people do this. Especially guys, I found, like a lot of guys, and it's very hard sometimes to tell who's a high value person, who's not, because you get some guys that are so egotistical that they seem at one point like they are, an incredible action taker in life, but at the same time, they take themselves way too seriously, and they're not someone that would actually have your best interest in mind and want to help you grow, but they're someone who just wants your validation. And I've experienced many guys like this. So there's something else you have to watch out for. Is the person you're talking to and the people that you're attracting, are they actually high value, or are they just putting on a front? Do they take themselves too seriously? So if you have someone who's an action taker but takes themselves way too seriously and, again, can't have that fun, can't have that loose expression, if they're constantly talking about themselves, for example, that's another indicator, like someone who's constantly talking about themselves. Someone at every turn, it's like you say something about yourself, like something you experienced in life, and then they'll just go back to talking about themselves. They'll be like, yeah, I did something like that once. Again, not someone who's high value. Not someone who's like a person you would want to surround yourself with, because that's a clear indicator that they don't care about your success. All they care about is themselves, and all they care about is their own little reality. So someone who can let loose, who can have fun, and who doesn't take themselves too seriously, someone who can see the humor in things, and someone who can let go a bit and not always prioritize, like, okay, I have to give value because that's just a front. Someone like that is probably those two combinations, being an action taker combined with not taking themselves too seriously. That's the clear sign of a high value person. And these are the people that you want to attract into your life. Now, the example that I give, the implementation of this, is something I call the brotherhood example. I call it like cultivating a circle of close friends. So for me, the way I like to see it is the people that I add to my life, I consider it almost like a brotherhood. It's almost like me and these few people are like brothers. Me and this group of people, me and these people that I hang out with are like brothers to each other. Right? It's like when we hang out with each other, it's like we have each other's backs. ride or die. The guys that I have made the best friendships with are like brothers to me, right? And the guys that I seek to add to my life, the reason how I know that someone is worth adding to my life and again attracting into my circle is because I could see them being like a brother to me. And this takes time to know. Like some people, I'm not saying that before I even say, let me grab lunch with you, I have to know, is this guy going to be like a brother to me? No, but you spend time with people. You spend time with people and you get to know them and you know, is this someone that I can ride with? Is this someone that I could add to my circle? Is this someone that is on this path of progression, high value? Perfect example is like my business partners. Like I will never ally myself with someone who I feel like I couldn't build like a brotherhood with. I will never work with someone who I feel like I couldn't have like as a bro and almost treat like family. I would never do that, right? I won't add people to my life like that. Guys that assist me on programs, for example, and teach with me. The only people that I want to teach with me are people that, you can't just be good at game. It's people that I feel I want in my circle because they're action takers and someone I can grow with. So I call it getting this brotherhood. You want to have this brotherhood of this circle of friends. Again, you want to have this circle of friends that you bring into your life, almost like a brotherhood. And one of the biggest rules to this is less is more. Like, you don't need to have a lot of people in your circle. This sounds crazy, but I have a friend, and he's another pickup instructor, and I think he's one of the best examples of this. He hangs out overseas. He's in Europe, and he has these two guys that he goes out with as wingmen, and they are like his best friends. Like they're his like really good friends. They're all very good with women, and they pull like orgies and threesomes together all the time. And they're all really good. And it's not a lot of them. He doesn't go out with like 10 guys and hang out with all of them, but it's just 3 guys he hangs out with, and they're like his brothers. It's few. It's a small circle, but less is more. Right? Less is more. The more you have in your group, the more that energy between you guys gets diffused. The more that energy gets diffused all over the place, and the less impactful you guys' relationship is. The less impactful it is to people around you because it's more. It's all over the place. The energy is displaced. But when it's you and 2 friends or 1 friend or maybe 3 friends, it's like that tight, compacted group. You guys know each other better. Your bonds become stronger. So I build this circle of friends. I reach out to people, and the people that I attract into my life, I add to the circle. And sometimes it doesn't work out. But the people that do stick into the circle, I build the brotherhood. With. That's how I am with my wings. Like I never at one time have like 5 wings I go out with. Right now I can count on less than these 5 fingers who my closest wings are. And I only have about 2 or 3 of them. 2 or 3 guys that I will go out with and I'll actually meet women with. The reason why is because I keep it less. I keep less is more. I don't want to have this massive circle of people that I'm constantly going out with, this little cult type, fucking entourage that I go out with. Less is more. I know my friends much better. And I build this brotherhood. We're like fucking brothers. We have each other's back. We know the dynamic. We know how things work. And we're working towards a common goal of success with women, success with life, success with business, success with health, fitness, with everything. Right? We build that together. Less is more. And I associate with those kind of people. So this, my friends, is the kind of company you want to keep. This is how you attract people into your life. These are the kinds of people you want to attract into your life, right? These are the people that you want to attract. In the next video, we're going to go over how to actually take action on this and how to network and find these kinds of people in a little more technical detail. But right now, I wanted to show you guys, this is the kind of company you keep. These are the kind of people that you need to attract into your life. These are the kind of people that you need to have around you if you're going to grow as a man, if your game is going to get better. These are the kind of people that you need to add to your life. These are the kind of guys that you want to surround yourself with. Because again, the game is one part of this, but who's going to help you on that journey? You're not going to pay for 10 fucking mentors. I mean, some people have it like that. Most people don't. You're not going to pay for that. How do you find these people? Who do you attract into your life? These are the kind of people, high value behavior people with high value behaviors and not low value behaviors.